Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 39 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. Today, I'd like to get this pig farm going a little bit better. So a couple episodes ago, I set up a feeder, which, feeds animals nearby, and we just let it run for a bit. And we also set up the baby animal separator, but I have it set up right now where it needs a redstone signal to run, and I'm not giving it a redstone signal because I wanted to have a bunch of pigs fully grown in that area. It's gotten to the point where, like most auto feeders, it's realized that there are too many animals nearby, so it stops breeding them. It also ran out of carrots, but it's also because it ran out of animals. There are like too many animals and stuff. So, long story short, today's episode I'd like to work on automating the production of some pork. Yeah. I might even throw some cows in there at some point. I haven't entirely decided how I'm going to set that up, because the auto feeder that we've got there only does one type of food, but I might be able to set up another auto feeder with wheat for the cows or something. I don't know. We'll play with it. But for now, I'm going to need a couple things. I'm going to need my lassos for a minute, and I'm going to want something. Let's see. So there's Dark Utilities, which has some nifty blocks in it. These guys have vector plates, which push entities around, which are super cool. There's block update detectors, there's traps, there's sneaky blocks, there's all kinds of sneaky, nifty stuff that's lots of fun to play with. One of the things that's useful, though, are these blocks called mob filters. And basically what they are blocks that, and if you look up the recipe here, there's like a little info thingy, allows a certain type of mob to move through it. For example, the baby filter only allows baby mobs to pass through. Neat. That's pretty cool. So there's the black ones, and then there's the inverted version. And the inverted version prevents a certain type of mob from moving through it. For example, the baby filter allows anything but baby mobs to move through. So basically, what I'm thinking is we set up a filter on the floor that prevents babies from going through it. Cool. So let's see. So inverted, mob filter, undead, player, arthropod, hostile, warder, baby. That's what I want. So apparently there's like some weird ways to do this, but basically we want a mob filter baby, which is this dude with some fences, it looked like. Didn't I have fences? I do have fences. I even have a fence gate. So mob filter baby. Fence gate. Okay, cool. Let's get a bunch of gates. So I'm gonna need, what's the interior of that? I'm gonna need like, I'm gonna say like 10 sets of these. So let's get like this many. And we're gonna need more wood. That'll do. So now we have a lot of gates, right? And now we can set up a filter for mob babies and say gates. There we go. All right, I just didn't want to shift click. Now, how am I on eggs, by the way? I've got some. So let's get like 32 of these things to start off with, and we'll kind of go from there. So we'll see how that works out for us. I wonder if I can exchange or lock these things, because that would be cool. Can I? Because it looks like I can. That's pretty spiffy. Alright, so this... So wait, hold on. These guys are mob filter baby. So that lets only babies through, which is kind of the opposite of what I want. I want... to invert them. Zoinks. So now anything that's not a baby animal can fall through. Neat. Now I'm probably going to want a few more of these. Either that or I can make the pen a little bit smaller. Would it be smart to make the pen a little bit smaller? I feel like it probably would be. Wireless transmitter, please. Yeah, let's just make the pen a little bit smaller, and then that would be good. It'll match the size of the existing pen anyway for the adults. Wait, these are all gates. Whoops. It's alright, I should have enough here. So how does that look? A little bit better? I think so. So that's what we'll do there. So now, anything that's not a baby animal can fall through these blocks, which is cool. And that's pretty much what I want. So what I'm going to do then is clear out an area underground here. Hey, my friend, Mr. Meat Creeps. Would you be so kind as to help clear out a little space? So I think this is the center, right? Right here's the center.
Ooh, I'm Mr. Meat Creeps. Look at me.
So that would be 1, 2, 3. So I actually want you down to about there.
Ooh, I'm Mr. Meat Creeps.
You only go down to 9 by 9? Alright, so that might not be ideal. What I'm thinking is maybe this should be enough sizing. I'll just clear it out myself. Lots of falling sand in here. This was one of those, that should be cool. I'll, like, tidy this up a little bit. But basically what I want is an underground area that adult animals will fall into once they grow up. So what we'll have is this thing pushes the babies into the secondary pin. And then when they're fully grown, they will fall through into the underground pen, at which point they'll, you know, be mob slaughtered. So maybe I want a little bit more sandstone, and I have a builder's wand, good. So you can probably go away for a minute. Just for a moment. Let's build this room out. I kind of meant for you to be sandstone, but that's okay. I have a solution to that. Exchangers. Nice. And that looks pretty good, right? So the next thing I want to check out making is the mob masher. So in the past, we've played with industrial foregoings method of mob mashing. There is a mob called mob grinding utilities that adds a whole bunch of cool stuff. So there's iron spikes, there's mob fans to push mobs around, there's an absorption hopper that sucks up items and experience orbs in a 7x7 area. Ooh, that's pretty cool. That's some nifty stuff. There's a tank for experience training. Turn fluid, XP fluid back into orbs. And then there's these upgrades that we can install to the mob masher, which is pretty neat. Ooh, GM chicken feed. Feed to chickens. Not familiar with that one. Imaginary not here sword. Interesting. I don't know how that works. I don't know what that is. No idea what that one is. But long story short, if we make ourselves a mob masher, we can make some cool stuff. Basically, it'll grind up mobs for us. So we're gonna need, like, I think 7 of these swords, if I'm not mistaken. 8. I was so close. So I should now be able to make. And then we're gonna need 3 blocks of iron. And that should be cool. So now we should be able to make 2 iron spikes and a mob masher. Great. The mob masher is pretty straightforward. You stick it on a wall. It's got a fancy texture. You give it a redstone signal, and it mashes mobs. And it hurts. Ow. But it also has upgrade slots. Woot. That come in pretty handy, if I'm not lying. One of the upgrades we're going to want to look at doing Specifically in this example, there's sharpness, which increases the damage. Let's see, these are fan upgrades. These are your mob master upgrades. Looting makes it drop more stuff. Adds fire to the attack. Smite, Bane of Arthropods, and Beheading. Super useful when we get to the point of doing Wither Skeletons, okay? So for now, though, what I would like to get is these guys, Looting, which is like super cheap. So that's cool. And I want to say there's a limit to max of 10. It tells you on the tooltip. So by throwing this Mob Masher down there with 10 looting upgrades, hopefully they will drop a lot of stuff. And let's take a look at the Absorption Hopper here. We'll just need an Eye of Ender, which shouldn't be too hard to get our hands on. A couple different ways, obviously, to pick stuff up. Fluids will insert into tanks, and items and inventories range is increased by absorption radius upgrades. Cool. So it's a 7x7 that'll vacuum items up in. And then there's a tank. It's called a Singularity Tank. I'm going to try and hook it up to like one of these tanks and see what happens with it. What I'd love to be able to do, because then there's also the thermal doohickey. Where did that thing go? So I've got my Tome of Knowledge. Are you in normal display mode? Cool. Where is that enchantment? Oh, there it is. It's in my inventory still. Insightful Condenser. I might want to do this one. Collects experience in an area. Because I think this one I can hook up to my Tome of Knowledge, can't I? Can I do something with that? I don't know. I don't know exactly how the Insightful Condenser works. So here's a question. If I put... Oh, hello. Interesting. And then you're, what, empty now? Well, that's good to know. So let's do this the thermal expansion way of collecting that stuff. Now, in terms of picking up items then, I'm pretty sure the Absorption Hopper needs a line of sight. So what I wouldn't mind using is a Ranged Collector, one of my favorite items from Actually Editions. Let's maybe teach you how to make these things. So do you already know how to make an iron casing? You don't, but I want you to be making Ranged Collectors for me in the future, so let's do that. Oops. That. I'm going to assume you also don't know how to make a hopper. Nope, but now you do. But you do know how to make chests, right? I taught you that one? Nope, but now you do. All the patterns. Zoinks. I'm going to really need to get into Reborn Storage sooner than later. And then coal is what's turned into. I've yet to automate this thing and this Actually Edition stuff over here, but we might be getting on board with that eventually, soonish. Speaking of, might as well fill up that experience tome. So with that in there, I should be able to make now a Ranged Collector start. One of my favorite items. It's just the bomb. And I believe I have an extra ender chest laying around. So let's take this guy over here. The Ranged Collector picks up items in an area. And the best part about it is it doesn't need line of sight. So even if the Ranged Collector is outside and we set it to an empty blacklist, so that means it'll pick up everything, and we drop an item here, the Ranged Collector should, poof, pick it up even if there's no line of sight. Perfect. The Vacuum Hopper, like, vacuums it towards the hopper, which is not ideal because then, you know, if the Ranged Collector, you know, can be outside the room, whereas the Vacuum Hopper kind of can't. So let's put our Insightful Condenser here. And I'm going to light up this room a little bit. Right? So that'll be our Insightful Condenser. That'll pick up the experience orbs that drop, in theory, probably. And then we're going to want our Mob Masher to be here, with probably a redstone signal behind it. How does that look? Nice. And then we'll probably want... So they'll probably die about there. So what I'm going to do is put my Ranged Collector here with an empty blacklist, which means he'll pick up all the things. See? All that stuff I just broke got picked up. Beautiful. I probably want this guy to chill right... All right. I'm like, where did my ender chest go? Oh, right. And a chest. Okay, there you go. I was like, why are you not opening? Oh, probably because I was right-clicking the... Okay. Maybe not. I don't know. It was just being derpy. So that will make the pigs, when they wander towards the mob masher, get damaged. So the next test for me will be, can I use vector plates on top of that experience thing, and can it still collect experience with vector plates on top of it? We're going to find out. So vector plates are cool. They are basically awesome. So maybe one more set of you, right? Because I think I need 25 in total. So vector plates, when placed on the ground, any entity that touches them will get pushed along. Cool? So that includes mobs, that includes items, etc. And you can also put vector plates... What's the recipe here? Oh, it's 8 of them around dark sugar. Okay, cool. That recipe changed a little bit. To get slightly faster vector plates, and there's 3 tiers of speed, and when you get to the top tier, it's like really fast. But ultimately, this tier is going to be sufficient for our pig grinding setup. So let's poof down to here. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to... And by the way, if you don't want to be pushed along these, hold shift while standing, basically. And if you're holding shift while on top of a vector plate, it won't push you, which is cool. I'm not going to leave a vector plate there. I'm going to leave that alone, and then we'll do this. So now any entity that falls into this room should wind up getting pushed right into the mob masher. Ow. And it hurts a little bit. Cool. Alright, so that is the next stage of that part. So next thing to do is test it and see what happens. So ideally, we will have the experience pickup happening, and we'll get some mob drops. Oh, you know what else I should grab while I'm here? Let's get a hardened upgrade for you, and let's also get an item duct and a servo. Hardened should be enough. I don't think we need particularly fast item transfer here, and that should be good. So let's test this setup, right? So what I'm going to do is the following. First, I'm going to make you always active. So now any babies that show up, you know what else I want is some carrots. Any babies that show up should be sent into that room, right? So carrots, let's just grab that many. We're going to need to speed up our production over there. Maybe it's because I'm in a desert, but things are going rather slowly. So there are enough animals to breed, so that's cool. But we'll do that in a minute. Hold on, let's do this and this. I'm going to place you here and here. And we'll see what happens. So are you going to get ground up or no? Alright, I was a little bit worried that the grinder wouldn't be able to reach them, but that's okay. So we're just going to move it down one then. Okay. So we'll put the grinder... Oh, right. Ranged collector. Dire, please. Right. So grinder... can go there. You know what I'm going to do? Is down here. This will be my access point into that area. Cool, my lever's in there. That was supposed to be this. Cool. Okay. So we've got this guy going now. I wasn't sure if it would be able to hit the pigs, but I forgot if this thing had like a range above its bounding blocks. So apparently it doesn't. That's cool. So adults fall through when I right-click them here. And then they get ground up. Sweet. And then there's kind of a problem. So the range collector should be picking that up, but it's moving. Urgh. That's something that I've found to be something of an issue. See if I break this, then the range collector can pick it up. So like the range collector is a little bad about picking up items that are in motion. So that's kind of a bummer. We're gonna have to figure that out. That's why I didn't want to have the vector plate there. I don't want the items falling on the vector plate if I can avoid it. Alright, so let's try this. What I'm going to do is leave an open spot. Let's move 2 more into here. That should work. Cool. Alright, so that's cool. And then I'm going to put my mob mashing upgrade in there. For a second, let's turn this off. I'd hooked this up real quick off camera because my thing was filling up. So let's throw 2 pigs in there. Boom and boom. And see how much pork we get out of 2 pigs. It should be a decent amount, I would think. Ow. That actually hurts. Dude. It's just a bit. Poor pigs. So that got 16 raw pork chops out of 2 pigs. That ain't bad. That's pretty good. Did you pick up experience? You did! You're getting experience. Nice. Go Insightful Condenser. Way to go. So that'll hold, you know, buckets and whatnot worth of experience, which is cool. How much? Oh, right. I'm a derp. I'm a derp. Go Direwolf. Way to go. So that looks like a pretty functional system. So here's what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to put... I don't want that many animals nearby in there breeding for pigs. I want to kind of thin the herd a little bit, if you will. Alright, so that should be good. So I put carrots in there. Watch what happens, right? So we're going to breed 2 pigs. Baby. Zoinks. And baby chills over there. And he just grows up in that pen, right? And once he's grown up inside that pen, he will fall down because mob filter baby. And then he will be mob mashed. And, you know, things and stuff. Not bad. Alright, cool. I wouldn't mind doing something similar for cows. I'm going to have to probably go find some cows. But let's get fluid ducks because I didn't set those up because I forgot to bring some. So we're going to want a couple fluid ducks. I'm assuming... Let's do hardened fluid ducks. I don't know. I need 2 Invar, I guess. I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming liquid XP is not hot. But... I've made that assumption before and was wrong, so, you know. So we'll go set that up, and that's... Oh yeah, you know what else I forgot is I need my hardened portable tank. Cool. And that'll get us a fully functional pig farm with lots and lots of bacon. Bacon. So we'll go down here, underground, we'll set you up. We've got our hardened fluid ducts. We've got our, this dude set to this. So that should, in theory, hold on, let's set this bottom part to orange. Boom, there goes my liquid experience, right? And then if I right-click on the tank with my Tome of Knowledge, which currently has 598 experience in it, boom, now it's got 638. Sweet. And if I shift right-click, I can extract experience out of this tome. And use it for all kinds of purposes. So I've currently got 22 levels stored in the tome. Not terrible. And ideally we'll have more eventually. How cool is that? I like it. Not bad at all. Now you seem to have some fluid inside you still, Mr. Tank. But we'll let that just pass. So that's pretty neat. I think that's a completed build, right? Like we'll leave that as is. So that's the feeder. I guess there's occasionally experience orbs dropping from the actual breeding of animals. I wouldn't mind having cows set up in the exact same way. Let's just check out the feeder from Industrial 4 going real quick. Just because the only problem with that feeder is there's one item type at a time, right? The animal feeder from Industrial 4 going may permit some better stuff to go on. So let's see. We're going to need a machine frame, a golden apple, 2 golden carrots. I just want to see what the UI of this thing looks like. And it's not expensive to make, so... Oh my, look at you. Okay, and show working area? Oh my. So that's a thing. Interesting. Let's take a quick nap. I think what I'm going to do is use this instead of the other one. All right, so that's filling up with its internal power. The working area is inside that thing there. That's pretty cool. Always active, hide working area. So give me those carrots back, guys. They probably can't be bred again for a little bit. But what I am going to do is, let's see. Let's, in the meantime, go find some cows. I'm going to assume that I can find some over here. Let's see, I've got my slime sling. I'll be back in a minute when I find, like, maybe a few cows. Oh, man, slime sling plus angel is pretty cool. Hey, cows. I can see cows. I do see cows. Come here, cows. All right, back in a minute. I'm going to get like 6-ish. Does that sound cool? So I'm going to go get these guys. I'll teleport home, and then I'm going to repeat that a couple times off camera. Let me tell you guys how there are literally horses everywhere. I don't think I've ever seen so many horses in a world before. That's all right. I've got my 6 cows. I should be cool. So let's get some wheat. And what I'm going to do here is test this little setup that I've got. So it should be cool. So I don't think I need this anymore. Oh boy, I didn't break that block. Alright, so we'll put down our cows. And we will put wheat and carrots in here. That actually does like a pretty good job. Nice. Sweet. It did one set of cows. There it goes. I think it's doing another set now. Sweet. This is actually going to work really well, guys. Check that out. So, things are going well here then, I say. I say to you, things are pretty good. So, baked ham looks like a pretty good source of food. Raw pork chops can go into all kinds of cool stuff, apparently. So, ooh, that looks good too. Vindaloo, curry powder, butter. That looks complicated. Complicated. Spicy mustard pork, huh? Needs mustard and salt, though. I don't think I have mustard growing at the moment, or anything that does mustard. Baked ham looked pretty good to me because it was like a simple-ish food source. So basically, first what we want to do to make baked ham is get bakeware. Ah, I need bricks. Let's get about 10 of you cooking. And there we go. We've got one of them. Incidentally, can you be used for anything? No, just that. All right. So what I want to do is just teach the baked ham recipe to this dude. Now, in theory, that shouldn't be a problem because you already know how to make sugar, right, buddy? And we've got sugar cane going on, right? You already know how to make. Yeah, cool. So now, if I said, you know, get me 30 baked ham, that shouldn't be a problem. Boom. Nice. So that is a new food source for me. I've been getting kind of tired of rice bread because it doesn't really do a lot for me, like at all. It's really a small amount of food that you get. So baked ham, yay. And look at that, dude. It like fills your saturation bar every time you eat it. That is cool. That is super cool. So it's 11 saturation points, so pretty much fills up your saturation bar. That is awesome. I'm happy with that. And we have, you know, 1,239 apples, so that should be good. So the ham, the sugar, all that comes together. Now at this point, what I'm noticing is my farm here is a little slow. Just a titch, a little snidge, a little mini bit. So I'm thinking to-do list might include potentially speeding that up a little bit. And there's a couple options we can go with there. I'm thinking it might be time to convert that just open air farm into a greenhouse type situation. Hopefully a good looking one. What would be a good desert themed greenhouse? I don't know. We'll probably find out next episode though, because for now, it's wrapping up points. We have a much better food source going on, baked ham. And the fact that we added cows over there also throws beef and leather into the mix, neither of which do we currently really have a lot of, but, you know, the cows haven't grown up yet, so they haven't been grinded yet. But the mob masher in the basement with the 10 looting upgrades definitely is going to improve the amount of, you know, pork and beef that we get. For now, Darryl20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Take it easy.